Hi, this is Jonathan Drake with Pipes by Design. The website is pipesbydesign.com. This is the first episode in a series that will show the production of my latest project, which I've entitled Full Tilt. You can follow the progress by subscribing to my blog on my website, or you can go to my other social media outlets, such as my Facebook page, Twitter account, or my YouTube account. You can find access to all of these on my website, pipesbydesign.com, and just click on the Connect button in the menu and go through the process of subscription there. In this video, I'll show just the basic concept, some of the progress that I've already done so far, and we'll set up what I'll be covering in future episodes. Thanks for watching. When my client first mentioned this project, he asked for a horse-themed pipe and was interested particularly in jousting. He's a big fan of the medieval ages, or the Middle Ages, medieval times, and all that. And when he mentioned that, the very first thing that popped in my head was this picture here, which is a panel from Hal Foster's Prince Valiant, which was an adventure comic strip from back in the 30s and 40s. I remember reading a collection of these my dad had when I was a kid, and my brothers and I pretty much read that thing into oblivion. But this image has stuck with me, as has most of Hal Foster's work, for the incredible amount of motion and action that Hal Foster was able to capture in just a single panel. The black and white print off here doesn't show the vibrant colors that he employed, but you can see the original image on the blog post featuring this video on my website. The basic concept is each horse here will be a pipe, and I will try to replicate this image as accurate as I possibly can, complete with Camelot here in the background, since Prince Valiant's story takes place during the days of King Arthur and the Round Table. This was a project that presented a number of challenges. Obviously there's going to be the challenge of carving something that looks like it's moving, but I'm excited about the opportunity, being able to satisfy the custom aspects of my client's requests, and then also considering the influence that Hal Foster's story had on my own childhood and imagination, being able to pay homage to his great work. So what I've done so far, wasn't able to film this for a variety of reasons, is I went ahead and decided on my scale and printed off some images here showing each horse. Then I could take to scale, and then I could take the briar blocks that I had available and start overlaying them on the image to find out exactly how I wanted to piece this thing together. Most briar blocks aren't going to be able to handle something this large. This is about 6 or 7 inches long. I wanted to do it this large so I could get as much detail as I could. Obviously this is not going to be your standard smoking pipe, but that doesn't really bother me too much. But in order to accomplish something like this, which I did very similarly in the Big 5 project, which you can see in my image gallery for my pipes, being able to piece sections of briar together and have a perfect seam, you got to be able to get these things absolutely perfectly flat. I really don't think that's possible to do on a table saw or a bandsaw, given the nature that most briar blocks are they're not square, they're not flat, because they're cut out by hand. So what I did is after I decided which blocks I wanted to use and how I wanted to piece this thing together, is I just went over to my metal lathe. I've got a Logan 820 here with a one-way chuck with extended jaws. Clamp each piece in here, and on each of the faces that would have a connecting joint, I went ahead and used the accuracy of the metal lathe to make a nice perfect face. The two factors that are super important in being able to piece these blocks together and have a tight and strong bond, the first being perfectly flat surfaces to glue together, then the second thing would be the glue. And I use Loctite epoxy. It's a 2-part.
sets pretty quickly, but the most important factor that I look for is the ability to withstand high temperatures. So this one here, I believe, can go up to 320 degrees Fahrenheit for an extended length of time, which, given the proximity of the tobacco chamber to the joints here, that's obviously an important factor. This stuff is extremely strong, and once it sets, it's virtually impossible to separate the joints if they're perfectly flush. I'm just now at the tail end. This is the last piece I've glued on here. This has been over a number of days, letting them fully set and cure. So I've got both horses all ready to go, all glued up, and all I have to do now is drill out the holes, which I'll do in the next video, and then start carving.
In the next episode, I'll drill out the tobacco chamber and the air holes for each of the pipes, fit the stems, get all that stuff ready to go, and then get everything ready for the carving process, which I'll show over a couple of episodes. I don't have a set schedule for when these things will be completed or when each video will be posted, so go ahead and, as I mentioned at the beginning, subscribe to my my blog on my website, or follow me on Twitter, like my Facebook page, or subscribe to my YouTube account to be updated for any new posts or progress on this project or any of the other projects I've got going on. Just go to pipesbydesign.com and click on the Connect button, and that will direct you to each of my accounts where you can go ahead and subscribe and follow me there. Thanks for watching, and thanks for joining me on this project. I'm certainly excited about this one and looking forward to each stage and getting it all done. And then the sad part of having to ship it off, which I never like, but that's part of the job. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.